world apart from anything you have seen before. Krull.
Hello everybody, welcome to another 80s movie commentary. Taking a look at Krull today, which was suggested on one of the past live streams. I had never heard of this movie, often confused it with Call the Conqueror. Actually, watched it a few weeks ago, absolutely loved it. And let's get off to the races here. I'll do the intros after we start. The movie, whether you got the Blu-ray or the DVD, or if you've rented it on streaming, or you got the old VHS or beta, the pause point we have chosen is the lady holding, well, the Statue of Liberty type of lady. Columbia Pictures logo has just come up, and our pause point is where the text Columbia Pictures just starts to fade in. So I'm just seeing the words Columbia Pictures have just faded in. That's where we've paused. And if you want to watch the movie along with us, then you can start it off here, or you can just listen along without the movie, because we usually do a pretty good job of describing what's going on. But if you want to watch along, that's where we're paused. I'm going to give you a countdown from 3 and press play when I say play. We're ready? 3, 2, 1, play. And some introductions are in order. Joining me from the Isle of Man, as always, Eric. How you doing, Eric?
Doing fantastic, thank you. Good afternoon.
And also joining us is Scuba Pete once again. Pete, how you doing?
What's up? What's up? I'm a little confused. I thought we were watching Conan. No.
give me a minute. Hang on, I've got to rejig this. I can do this. I can do this. I'm like Chekhov in Star Trek. I can do this. No, this I had never heard of this movie. What is this thing called again?
The Glaive.
The Glaive, yes.
The Glaive.
I'm shocked that this wasn't in every toy store, like every Toys R Us, Kmart, Zellers. This really could have been the lightsaber, you know, like up there with the lightsaber and the light disc, the Tron disc.
Yeah.
But like you were saying before we started, Eric, this movie bombed hard.
Yes. Yeah, this was apparently at the time one of the most expensive movies ever made, and it didn't make its money back anytime soon.
Not even close.
Liam Neeson. There's a couple of familiar names: Liam Neeson and Robbie Coltrane. Everyone knows Neeson, but Robbie Coltrane was Hagrid in the Harry Potter movies.
Yeah. Here's another interesting fact about this movie: they actually dubbed his voice in with another actor in this film.
Ah, yes, yeah, I remember hearing about that.
They did. This was a predominantly British cast, and apparently a few of the key cast members, I don't know if they just didn't like their accents or something. Something bothered somebody somewhere, so they actually dubbed them in, including the lead actress, Lisette something. Yeah.
And if you're getting Wrath of Khan vibes from that music, you're not wrong. That's James Horner, who did do the music for Khan.
Boy, this is what I love about 80s movies. Just the look and the feel of it. This is so Star Wars, Ridley Scott, Aliens feel to it. You just don't get this scope and grandeur and detail with CGI.
I wanted to see I Break for No One on that. I don't know if that's baseball.
That's got to be a commentary soon.
I love the design of this kind of, I don't know if you call it ship, you know, it journeys, so I guess you could, but it's got this sort of like volcanic fluted rock, and it's got this kind of really sculptural,
It's beautiful.
James Horner for you.
So we've got a couple of comments going from the Patreon tribe members watching along, and just a heads up for Ray Lovejoy. What a name. Was that the Reverend Ray Lovejoy? But for future commentaries, Patreon tribe members, you can join us either on the audio recording, or you can chat along with us too while you're watching your copy of Krull. But Boba Hicks from Ireland says it's like Aliens meets Wrath of Khan soundtracks had a baby. And Goji Tron says any resemblance to the opening of Star Wars is purely coincidental. That was the fine print, that the little discretion on the bottom of the screen.
Here's a little factor. It was
Oh.
directed by Peter Yates, who actually directed one of my favorite films, Bullet.
Oh, really? Steve McQueen?
Yeah, yeah.
Look at this
Yeah, David
beautiful
Yates has
shot here.
amazing filmography. Is it just me, or does anybody else think immediately of Dark Crystal in the scene with like the
Very
cracks in
much.
the castle? Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing I thought after the first time I watched this movie was this is the He-Man movie I wanted in 1989.
Oh yeah, you're right. It does have
Because when I watched He-Man, Masters of the Universe, one of my thoughts was it would have been cool if that was on Eternia. I mean, I think we got enough of Earth, Eternians on Earth, in the He-Man Christmas special, but Eternia would have been nice. And to me, this is Masters of the Universe. Krull is totally Eternia, and if you kind of want to do a little headcanon tweak, this could totally be an Eternian adventure that just doesn't happen to feature Skeletor and He-Man. Maybe even like a prequel or a down the road, thousands of years down the road after King Randor. But a beautiful blending of sorcery and technology that I didn't really think that the previous Masters of the Universe movie captured properly.
Lisette Anthony right there, and probably the most 80s hair of all time.
Boba Hicks said, look at the money just dripping off the opening credits. They were really classy looking. And he also says it's like a Megadeth song come to life. The cinematography here is so beautiful. It does not, the money is on the screen, definitely. It does not look like cheesy B movie at all. This is an A movie, at least in look. I think in action as well. But definitely look-wise, this to me looks like a Spielberg movie or a Ron Howard movie.
Yeah, very much
that era.
Well, they did a lot of location shooting too. I think with movies like this, it makes a big difference. It's like Excalibur to me is a very similar kind of feeling movie in scope. And you get that same sort of, they're using all these exterior locations, like these real shots in the forest, which is actually kind of interesting because I think it contrasts pretty starkly with the bits they did on sound stages, but it does look pretty.
So I always like to hear about the backstories of how people experience this movie for the first time, and that score, the rousing score, is just amazing. But my first experience of knowing it existed was a couple of months ago, and watching it was a couple of weeks ago. But how about you guys? When was the first time you ever saw Krull?
Well, this is one of those videos where I think, like a lot of movies in the 80s, I saw was on home video. During the summer vacation, there was a little video store that was connected to a gas station down on the kind of about a mile from my house, and my mom would rent movies for me and then sit and watch them during the day in the summer when I was just sitting inside or whatever. It was really hot in Sacramento where I grew up, so you couldn't go out during like the middle of the day in the summer. I think that was one of these movies. I think I'd seen it again and again and again at the video store on the shelf and finally rented it.
How about you, Pete?
I want to say that this was like on HBO or Showtime, like over and over and over. That's how I remember. I don't remember renting it. I mean, I remember seeing the cover at the VHS rental. It was a little house in our town, but I'm pretty sure that this was on one of the pay channels. We were spoiled. We had cable.
So I think most people would agree, and Boba Hicks just mentioned that the sets are brilliant. The movie looks amazing. The music is top notch. The costumes are great. The acting is fantastic.
Yeah, really well filmed.
So why did it bomb?
I think it was one of those where it was so genre that I think it just didn't stick with a lot of people. I think it's one of those films that takes kind of a while for people to kind of look back on and appreciate exactly how good it was in a lot of ways.
I got another question too. So why hasn't it had a huge resurgence? Because I know there's a lot of people out there who love Krull when they hear about Krull, but after this movie, I really, really dug it. And when I dig something that's dead, I love those dead properties. It's just Chad and Adam heard about that yesterday. Love those dead and buried properties and hunting down those little morsels of legend, like the 8-issue comic run it had, or stuff like that. There's nothing Krull out there. Was there maybe like a short comic adaptation, but other than that, there's no 12-issue comic run. There's no novel that continued or prequeled it.
Wasn't there an Atari game?
Was there?
There was. Yeah, there were. Yeah, I think there were a couple of them actually.
Okay, so there's that, but there's been no fan 20 or 25 years later who said, I love this movie and I needed to do this, animated movie, or like there's just nothing Krull out there, despite how, I say great, and I think most people would agree, at least very good this movie is.
Yeah, I think so. There was one thing that comes to mind, like kind of Krull related. There was a game on the PS3 and Xbox 360 years ago, I guess now technically, called Dark Sector, and the weapon that you had was like a spinning glaive, just like Krull did. I remember when that came out and you first saw shots of it. I thought, is that supposed to be like? I was thinking it was like a Krull reboot or something like that. I mean, it was almost uncanny how similar the kind of the main weapon is. But it was actually a decent game if you can hunt down a copy at GameStop or something like that for a couple bucks. It's worth playing.
And I don't think there was a Krull toy line.
No,
nope.
Who would have done it if one of the big companies had grabbed it? Do you think it would have been a Remco?
Remco or LJN all the way. Yeah.
Yeah, that's too bad. I really like this character right here. I'm a huge fan of a Sega Genesis song called War Song, which in Japan was called Langrisser. And it's very similar, except without the sci-fi elements. It's a fantasy game. But the game begins with the young prince escaping his castle, which is besieged by the evil enemy lord, and the old warhorse mentor protects the prince in his escape. So that older character we just saw here a few moments ago really reminds me of Balderov, for all you old Warsong fans. Balderov from Warsong.
Well, that was Alan Armstrong, I believe, right? He was also in Dune.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he was one of the Mentats, I think.
Dune is another movie that visually amazing, but that's one that I haven't really been able to get immersed in. In terms of tone and story. I'm really looking forward to the new version of it. I think it's just got to be great with who's directing.
So, yeah, Denis Villeneuve, and I'm probably butchering it.
But it's better than me. I always call him Villeneuve.
Yeah, he's just an amazing director. I've liked everything he's done. Arrival is just incredible.
Here comes the Masters of the Universe scene. This is what we should have been, and I guess we saw a bit of it in the He-Man movie, but riders on horses with swords and lasers.
Yeah, it's sort of genre bending, isn't it? It's kind of sci-fi fantasy. Yeah,
this just gives me chills, and to me, this is Skeletor's attack on the Palace of Eternia.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do you think that the main hero here has the tightest pants in the universe?
Very close to it. You guys know, being a Star Trek fan, Mike, you know who that is, right? Have you connected that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. Marshall.
Yes. I remember Googling him after I watched this movie. And went, so what has he been up to? Because I did that with
the guys running up the walls.
That's awesome. It's like Adam West. We're almost there, Robin. But I Googled him and I was very surprised to see, it's our boy from Star Trek. Was it Deep Space Nine or Voyager?
Yeah, DS9. He played he played
a piece of trash.
Yeah, he played a traitor basically. He was basically a terrorist sympathizer.
Yeah, he did not have tight pants in those episodes. No. Standard Starfleet regulation uniforms.
Yeah, but this was so apparently his first and only lead role.
Yeah. I think it's very similar to Barry Bostwick.
Yeah.
Did he ever star again? Oh, that's so gross.
I'm like, where did that go?
Yeah, that scream that you hear there is it's a sound effect pulled from an old classic movie called At the Earth's Core when they scream and go in. And funny, they use that exact same sound in Dune in a couple places.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Amazing fight scenes right there. I've just started watching Stargate SG-1 for the first time ever.
Oh,
So
nice.
I'm loving it. You know, what's not to love with anything Richard Dean Anderson is involved with. But kind of similar thing with you kill the host and the alien jumps out of there.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're right. This is so Masters of the Universe. This is incredible. No, I love this little character bit with her, where she sticks around and throws the guy the sword. It's showing that she's not just a coward.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah, I really like that little bit.
Yeah, for anyone wondering, how would you do He-Man in live action? This is it. This is the answer. Like, change the names, but do this. Shoot it this way, edit it this way, score it this way. The one thing about the movie is the story is a little on the thin side. It's basically just a journey piece. It's like Fellowship of the Ring. If Lord of the Rings had just ended with Fellowship of the Ring, we're going from point A to point B.
Yep.
So that's why Lord of the Rings is as successful as it is. It's a lot more than just let's go from A to B. And even Willow, which is kind of a very similar atmosphere. Willow is a little more like Star Wars in, the ultimate battle between good and evil and destiny and all that. So that's the one thing that maybe if they had tweaked in this movie, if they had tried to, I don't know, like it's a nice story. It's a, story about love conquers all, but it just doesn't feel as though as much is at stake as Lord of the Rings, the whole planet is at stake.
It doesn't have, and when I was watching, because I watched it last night just to kind of prepare and just check it out so I didn't come in totally cold. But the when I was watching it, what I found was that it didn't have a real sense of urgency, even though they're trying to find this, this castle and recover this princess and all that stuff. It just didn't really feel like the stakes were that huge. It's.
Yeah, it's like we'll get there when we get there.
Yeah.
That's right. That's one of the things. It's such a nice, just enjoy the atmosphere, enjoy the surroundings type of movie that there are some moments where I enjoy them, but I can see how it's like, yeah, we are slowing down the urgency a little bit by just sitting here and enjoying the view. But I will say there's already been more conflict, drama, excitement than all of Megaforce. I might get stoned for saying that, but although let me follow that up and just appease the Megaforce superfans by saying Barry Bostwick as the main hero here would have been just all kinds of awesome.
Well, he'd certainly have the better hair for sure,
and tighter pants too.
As the Slayers took the princess away, he could give a thumb kiss.
That really could have been his calling card. It could have been his "I'll be back."
Yeah,
just in every single movie he appeared in, give the thumb kiss. The Glaive.
Yeah. Now it's interesting because they kind of touch on this whole Glaive thing, and you get it more in a little while, but it's really more of a MacGuffin, really. I mean, he doesn't use it basically the entire movie.
He's got to save it.
Mm-hmm. And it really is one of those weapons. It's got that sort of iconic quality about it where it, would have been one of those toys. Like, I think I remember even as a kid, we were playing Krull and, throwing sticks and stuff and pretending they were glaives.
I could
actually totally use Chinese stars.
I could totally see this movie being even better with someone like Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah.
Not to say fix it, but what I mean by fixing it is like Blade Runner, the original movie, is okay. I've always thought it was okay, but after watching Blade Runner 2049, I consider it fixed. And I feel like Blade Runner 2049 makes Blade Runner 1 better.
Yes.
That's not a complete movie to me anymore. Now I realize Blade Runner wasn't a complete movie. It's Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049 are a full movie. And I think this movie with someone like Denis doing a sequel and a third one, because this is just too much to cram into one movie. this movie could be fixed and be part of just an astounding trilogy. There's nothing wrong with this movie if you put a great sequel follow-up to it. I think you could have that same Blade Runner and Blade Runner 2049 effect to it.
Yeah, it's almost like the first movie could be his quest to get the glaive, and then subsequent films tracking down the castle, and then the third film,
So I could see the execs sitting in a room and discussing this potential Krull follow-up, and one guy going, "Yeah, but that means we'd have to give that guy another starring role." And I thought we all agreed he would never star in a movie again.
You can just imagine the execs. That Ken Marshall, he's never starring in another picture again, as long as I live.
Boys, dead.
I got an idea, boys. Here it is. We give him a bit part, and we make Daisy Ridley the star.
We got a new Obi-Wan Kenobi.
He's in great shape. And those pants, yes, they could not be. If he had a He-Man style figure, the caption would say, "The tightest pants in the universe."
Yeah, it's probably that Olivia Newton-John thing where they had to sew him into him.
Oh, man. He might be magnetized into them. Just to make it quicker.
Just body paint.
I imagine him doing interviews like Val Kilmer has done. It took me 4 hours to get in the pants and 3 to get out every time I had to go to the bathroom. Took a team of 4 people to get me in them.
Now, I don't know where this was, but
Wow.
This is just spectacular.
Now, do you think this is outside, or is there a little bit of rear projection, or?
This is for sure. I think this is for sure.
That last shot might have had a little bit of trickery, but you can't even tell. I mean, it's not like Lando standing in front of a painting of the Falcon going on. I won't get a scratch.
But it's pretty obvious they transitioned to a sound stage up here in a second, and that's the one bit of this movie when I was watching it before that I thought, oh my goodness, wow, it just looks so much like a sound stage. It's like the lighting isn't terribly lighting wasn't terribly natural looking, and they go from this hard outdoor lighting to this like very soft studio lighting.
Mm-hmm.
Director right there was, get this shot, get the horses off the camera, get them out of the shot.
Gorgeous shots. This is what I mean when I say there's nothing wrong with this movie. This is just beautiful.
Yeah, this has got to be like somewhere in the Mediterranean, like in mountains above Spain or something.
Oh, and that's the one thing I really noticed my first viewing of this movie. These incredible long shots.
Mm-hmm.
This is meant to be watched on a big screen. Like, put it on a 70-inch big screen or a projector if you've got one, because it's not very often that director has this type of scope where he goes, okay, we're going to drive down for a half hour and then we're going to get a shot of you running up the mountain.
Yeah.
Here come the rocks.
That was one of the things I liked so much about the Lord of the Rings movies, and the documentaries for those are so good, but they're filled with those kind of stories where, like, the three core actors, that played Gimli, Strider, and the elf. Yeah, thank you. We had these stories of like camping out and waking up at the break of dawn to get just like a shot of them running into the sunrise, and stuff like that. And that's cool. I mean, when you think about like that would be the kind of experience making a film that would make it, a film, an experience that would be so memorable, And it looks like they did the same kind of things. I mean, here's this dude. I doubt I don't know, maybe it's the actor. It looks like it could be, but here's this scale on the side of this rock face.
That's the thing about having a lead, especially an action lead who's in great shape, who actually looks like he has some athletic musculature. Even if it's not him, I buy that it's him. Whereas you get some other action guys who look like they've never really done a push-up or sit-up in their life, and then they're doing these extraordinary physical feats. Yeah. It's a lot harder to swallow. So, yeah, even though this might be a professional climber, it doesn't really shatter my illusion of, like, why wouldn't it be him? It looks like he would have the strength to pull his own body up.
Yeah.
I looked it up. This is Italy.
Italy. Okay.
Oh, that makes sense. I should have known with all the times I've watched The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Beautiful, beautiful landscape. The wind, the sun. Yeah, I can imagine them going, we're not shooting today. There's no sun. Because sometimes they do it, you know. We've got overcast. Well, we've got to get it in the can, and they just get what they can. I mean, that's the entire X-Files run. Just get it in the can. Great every day. But this, I could see them scheduling around nice sunny days. Unbelievable. I mean, they just went from an incredible, extreme long shot to just a really, really long shot. And I can't think of many times that happening. That little glint on the sword, which might be a post-production effect, but why not be a real one? Like, I can just imagine that being an actual practical effect happening in camera. Yeah, if you're a real aficionado for old school stunts, old school in camera effects or on set natural effects, this is just the movie for you.
Now, this movie apparently just occupied a ton of sound stages at Pinewood Studios, and all the where they do all the 007 007 movies, and
Albert Broccoli stage.
Yeah, you can really see it because I mean these sets in here, and they've got a bunch of them. There's like this, and there's like another one, and just a couple scenes from this that just look huge.
I love there's the glaive.
Yeah.
I love the attention to detail. They've spritzed him a little bit, and I noticed these little things because I've putzed around a little bit with indie film, but they've spritzed him up a little bit to make him look a little sweaty, because that's how you make this place feel hot, by having the your main guy sweat a little bit. It's always a real irritant to me when people are in cold area and you can't see visible breath.
Yeah.
It's so easy to do these days now. Like, they just put in the CGI breath, but back in the day, oh my Lord.
I lava this.
He's just going for it. They need a disclaimer. Don't try this at home.
Wow. Now that's magic.
Swing.
It's a kind of magic. Mark has just incredible. Why did we not get one from Mattel? I don't think you can even like I said, like, there isn't even a replica these days. There isn't a Diamond Select Glaive or Master replicas. Oh, maybe that's why.
Maybe I can put this down as my next little project at home, I guess. Try making a glaive.
One of the only glaives in existence. Mark has some more trivia for us. He says they even use special breeds of horses for the battle scenes later on, gave it otherworldly feel. And
Clydesdales, I think they use the big the Budweiser horses.
Yep.
Yeah.
And he says, I never heard of Krull until my wife introduced me to it about 15 years ago. It was a childhood favorite of hers. And Gojitron says the new glaive from Ronco. It ties as a child.
He's like, no, don't use your new toy just yet.
Yeah, it's like Sword of Omens. Be responsible with it, dude. It's kind of magic. I mean, you just reached into lava without burning your hand. You don't use it to pop a beer open.
Yeah, that'd be a great outtake. They just throws it and it's just like all the way, and it's like, well, that's it, done.
It's gone.
He hands it to the old man, and the old man just tosses it over his shoulder. Yeah, Mark, or I should say Jake Skywalker, will never live that down. That tossing up the lightsaber. I get such a Garrett and Balderov vibe off of their scenes together from that Genesis game War Song. I mean, that was a pretty simple game. It was strategy based, just kind of, move your guy, attack, and retreat. But these are the scenes I pictured those characters having in between the battles. of just the mentor trying to fill in the young man and prepare him for what's to come. The clouds moving in the background. Just everything about this movie is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Little blades of grass blowing in the breeze.
You really can't fake that atmosphere you get that you can achieve on a location shoot. It's just impossible.
Mm-hmm. As big a pain in a butt as it can be to go outside.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just need to go outside.
Look at this too. I'm pretty sure this is just a practical shot. This is incredible. This landscape.
Now, another sci-fi or fantasy movie from the same time period, Legend, with Tom Cruise.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think? Is this better or not as good as Legend?
Legend had the benefit of Ridley Scott's directorial skills, but I always thought Legend was almost unequaled in how pretty it looks. Legend, even by today's standards, is just an extraordinarily pretty film.
And could you imagine Tom Cruise in this movie?
Almost. Well, the funny thing is, it's really a very similar film.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at it, I mean, even a Legend where they have to go get the sword, and it's a very similar villain, and he's after his true love, and all that. I mean, it's really, the story's pretty darn close.
Mm-hmm. I love this character.
Yeah,
he's the much needed zany.
Yeah, comic relief,
and he's coming in at the perfect time too. I really like the timing of the introduction of the new characters in this movie. It just feels like all of my favorite movies, the way they do it, like when Star Wars brings in Han Solo, and then they bring in someone else.
And this was David Batley is his actor's name, right? I have to look this up. I think that's who that was. He was in Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. He was the shopkeeper in Willy Wonka.
That's right.
Yeah. I love how he's got these pieces of paper that are all his spells, and none of them are in order.
Right.
So, in terms of Masters of the Universe, here's your Orko surrogate.
Yeah.
Just me, or as dated as that looks, doesn't that look better than Willow's?
It's pretty good.
Effect, which Willow would be a few years after this.
Yeah. I think so. Goose. Pestilential poultry right there. Those birds. And you got the worst Canadian variety there, Mike.
Oh, man. Oh, man,
it's pretty darn good. Yeah, that looks great.
I like it. I like that it looks more animated than stop motion.
With you.
So Mark says Charlie's school teacher from the original Charlie and the Chocolate.
Yeah, that's who it is. He's apparently a pretty famous kind of British comedic personality. He's been in all sorts of stuff. That I know.
Mm-hmm.
But this movie really is kind of a who's who of kind of British actors. There's some pretty big, like Coltrane and Liam Neeson. It's a lot of their kind of first appearances. Oh, there's a Cyclops.
That is freaky.
It's a great effect.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure the actor couldn't see anything while he was in that makeup.
So here's a little trivia that's not exactly movie related, but it's Cyclops related. When skulls of elephants were seen by people who didn't know what elephants were, that they are what inspired the lore and the legend of the Cyclops, because an elephant skeleton looks like a little like a very large human skeleton, and it's got a hole in the center where the trunk is, and so they thought it was an eye socket, and people that back in days of yore, people that had never seen elephants and saw an elephant's skull, that's what inspired the Cyclops legend.
Wow.
Even the castle here has some really crazy effects, and it's kind of funny because it's really just a bunch of insert shots of Lisette Anthony running around. This looks like she's just kind of tripping out, really, but it still has this great kind of mood and foreboding for that.
The sparkle we just saw reminds me a lot of like the constant kind of sparkle you see in Excalibur too.
Yeah.
And we just saw some overcast, and this movie even looks good with overcast. But that's an appropriate shot of overcast because they're going into this foreboding situation now. So you want to prepare the audience by, not having a nice sunny day outside and walking in danger. You want it just a little bit of foreshadowing that something bad is about to happen.
Yeah.
These little subliminal things that you can get the audience ready for what's about to happen. Look at these scoundrels.
Just lying in wait in the middle of a bunch of rocks.
I love the classic villain slow rise up, slow rise down.
These type of shots, I always remember Ghostbusters. One of my favorite lines. Shh, listen, do you smell something?
Okay, get her. There he is. Get her. We'll find you, and I will kill you.
I love this. He turns to a pig.
Could you call this gang the not ready for primetime players? But they will be in a few years.
The B team.
Yeah, the B team. It's funny, Liam Neeson had that little part in Excalibur, and then a little, oh, there he is.
Yeah.
But Liam Neeson getting some bit parts in some really memorable fantasy movies. I just can't not see Hagrid when I.
Yeah. Even with the mustache there.
So Qui-Gon Jinn. Someday I'll be in Star Wars. I'll be a hologram or something.
I love him. He actually plays, because usually he's a fairly stoic one in movies, and he actually plays the kind of the swagger pretty well. Yeah,
he's very Harrison Ford in this. Well, Han Solo, I should say. He's very Han Solo in this. Maybe a lot more chipper than he's ever been, actually. Yeah, you can just see him in the background there laughing and chuckling it up.
He's got the lean going on.
Oh, he's total Han Solo.
To the Black Fortress.
He's even doing the Harrison Ford incredulous, what, me? Like, do you believe this guy? Yeah, the lean. How about I lean since I'm 7'2"? Much taller than this tight pants man you have. See, he's totally hamming it up.
Yeah, yes.
This is before he knew how to act. Less is more. He went to the Clint Eastwood school. Don't just do something, stand there.
Before he acquired his particular set of skills. It's funny how this group, how fast they go from this menacing group of renegades and I don't know if you'd say pirates or whatever, what do you want to call them, highwaymen, to like, hey, yeah, he's pretty cool. Let's follow him.
You know who they remind me of? The Junkions.
Oh yeah.
It's about this. I think if you timed it, it'd be about the same amount of time they go from they're going to kill us all to. To act now, destroy Unicron.
Weep, Grana, weep, Ninny Bomb.
He's got the key.
I love this, the casting of the main guy, the spike collar guy. Apologies to the diehard Krull fans. I'm still a Krull newbie, so I will learn these names in time. But he dances that fine line. Like, is he? Can you trust him? And ultimately, he just ends up being an awesome character.
Yeah.
And so, there are a lot of movies like to turn a guy, make you suspect, and then he ends up being a piece of trash, and you just hate him. Like, oh, he betrayed the heroes. And I just love that. Not to spoil anything, I guess most people listening to this will have seen Krull, but on repeated viewings, I'm glad that I can watch this guy and appreciate him as a cool character, not a guy who ended up being a piece of garbage.
Yeah.
Goji try and get some Mystery Men vibe. Well, the Cyclops is tick-like. So a little bit of that. Man, that group just grew like very, very quickly. That's the fellowship is growing.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. He faints. So you would think a Cyclops would have perfect aim because he never has to close one eye. His depth perception, actually, I guess that would be a hindrance. Does a Cyclops have depth perception?
Actually, that's a good point.
Because when you shoot, you close one eye to aim, right? But
Yeah. Yeah, I guess the Cyclops dominant eye would be his only eye.
I would say what are we here? 30, 40 minutes into the movie. I think we've already got more laughs than the Masters of the Universe movie, and I think it's a fair comparison. Pretty much in the same kind of genre.
Yeah,
But more
sure.
laughs, more action, more beautiful cinematography, more investment in the characters and in the story.
Well, I think even when we were watching Masters of the Universe, I think one of our comments was remarking that there was not really any sort of epic scale to it at all. I mean, you rarely saw them anywhere other than, Earth locations, and you'd have a couple external shots here or there that were setups or, B-roll or something of Vasquez rocks, and that was really it. This is just the whole thing has a much more grand feel.
Yeah, there's no real nice exterior shots in Masters of the Universe. I mean, they were on Eternia and they didn't bother to give really any shots that make you go, wow, Eternia. There's just like the matte painting shots, exterior shots. Yeah, I agree, Pete. It's Flash Gordon. The quick growing group feels like Flash Gordon.
Yeah, like he wins over Baron, rapidly, and then it's just like boom, boom, boom. Let's go take on Ming.
I'm reminded of Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, where it's like we go from 3 guys to 5 guys, so all of a sudden there's like 19 guys at the end of the movie. Indy's like the 4th one from the back.
Yeah.
Every good fantasy movie has to have a dude walk up to a rock and try to get in through a secret entrance. Beautiful effect. Cool. I like those reaction shots where these guys are in this fantastical world, but even they see some stuff and go,
What?
wow.
Yeah.
It's not just blasé to them. I wanted at least one guy to do the somersault into it, slider style. So there's got to be one guy who's got to do a somersault into some kind of a warp thing, a light tunnel. Wow. And when they do go onto sound stages, holy smokes, spare no expense. It's not just about the set. They know how to light it too. Sometimes people make good sets, but then they just blast it with light because they want to show everything off, right? Like, look what we made. And it takes a lot of restraint to go, no, let's not blast it with light. Get those nice little subtle glowing shots of the emeralds. Beautiful tracking shot. Just as a cinematographer, like just incredible movie.
I love like the spot coming down through the god rays and the rock, highlighting the wizard.
Yeah.
Or the seer, I think they call him.
Yeah. Seer.
Yeah, like it's a totally dark room. You got one light, make it count, and they do. Ironically, it doesn't look like it gets much sun. I love the repetition of green. The secret doorway was green light. He's wearing green. He's surrounded by emeralds. I like it when someone has his signature color and they really surround him with it, such as like in the Incredible Hulk TV show. At least in the pilot episode, there was a lot of recurring greens. Like walls would be painted a light green, and there'd be a green picture in the background. On the Amazon Tick show, there's a lot of blue. Like if they're in a car, it's blue.
He's trying to take them.
Oh, he's got one.
The robber baron in him. Sweet Jesus, we're surrounded by emeralds.
Old habits die hard.
He takes the big piece.
Oh,
Takes a kid's food.
what kind of guy asks a kid for his food? Did he say tick?
Titch.
Oh, titch. Not tick. Spoon. Wow. Yeah, and I'm looking for it, and I can't really see the filament they're using. I mean, maybe it's not even there, but it might have been post-production, but oh, it is. Wow.
Like, that's really a pretty good effect.
It's amazing. Yeah, I mean, a nitpicker is going to have even a nitpicker can't really find anything wrong with that. They're trying to see where the fish line is.
Yeah.
There's no fish line. How'd they do that?
Yeah, where's the man behind the curtain?
And the thing this movie does so well. Whoa.
Oh, nasty.
Jump scare.
A little bit of a Sauron vibe going there.
Very much.
Yeah. Very cool. I like that it's not just about this guy and his journey, that other guys get little side stories, little moments to shine. And now the mentor character, we get to find out a little bit about his history coming up in part of the journey, which is one of my favorite parts of the movie too, going into his history and the sacrifice he's going to make in order to keep the mission going.
Yes, yeah.
To the swamp.
It's so odd, like, to find a 80s movie, especially something that's not just straight up, drama, but like a fantasy movie. And there's really nothing about the performances to make fun of here. They're all great. It could really come off as cheese or campy, but it's great. It's like Lord of the Rings quality acting, in my opinion. They all buy it, believe it. The dialogue is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this was the set that was built on the Bond stage.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And they said that with all the water and everything, they were not able to keep it heated, and it was in the winter.
Oh.
And so it really was cold and miserable. The production staff kept stepping into the water.
I wonder if they'll have visible breath here, cold breath. Ah, the emeralds.
Oh, yeah.
Accept.
Duffer.
Even the old man's laughing at them. I'm blind and I could see that a mile away.
I love this. Will somebody turn off that fog machine?
That was another complaint from the production, was that it just got to be thick.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Oh, that's so good.
Was nightmare.
Slowly coming out of the water.
I mean, Chuck Norris looks at that and goes, "Not bad, not bad." But when Chuck comes out of the water and missing in action, he's inhaling the water. Chuck inhales water and exhales oxygen. It's so satisfying when those things bite the dust.
Yeah.
Oh, literally bite the
Thing
dust.
escaping. Yeah.
Thing just jumped into the dirt.
You have to imagine that if they had done a sequel, something about that would have been a component, like when these things die, and maybe the little squishy brain things or stick around, or
it could have been a very Stargate thing. Not saying this copied Stargate. It's, if anything, the other way around, where those things come back and they jump into one of your favorite characters, and now we have to deal with formerly popular character being taken over by this. Oh, he's got a whip.
Yeah. The lightning bolts and little lightning effects when they're striking swords and stuff. That's a really neat touch that makes it kind of feel extra fantastic. Imagine that without that. That was an interesting thing they decided to do there with this little rotoscope.
It really adds so much to it.
Yeah.
It might have come off as a little bit of choreographed cheesiness, but those flashes really make it look big time. When he did that role, all he needed to do was do the Jack Burton. Ha ha!
Yeah.
What would that have been like? Kurt Russell as the star of this movie, basically playing Jack Burton.
That would have been perfect. Is what that would have been.
I think we already saw that movie. It's called Big Trouble in Little China. It's what happens when you have like a fantasy serious movie with this moron as your lead character. So yeah, it would have been awesome. Everybody relax.
It's great, even by today's standard. I think it's pretty darn good makeup effects and practical effects on that Cyclops.
Yeah, it got the eye. I mean, the eye blinks.
Mm-hmm.
It freaks me out. Like I could see myself as a kid watching a clip of this and go, I will never watch this movie. Just based on it. That's one of the things that would have really freaked me out.
So would he be our Chewbacca, or would he be our more of our Obi-Wan? No, I guess more kind of Chewbacca, huh?
Yeah. I'd say Chewie, and then again, I apologize. I don't know. I don't know his name. The mentor, the old man, not the old blind man, but the I'll call him Balderov. But he's kind of the Obi-Wan Kenobi. He's done this kind of thing before.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's
for one more mission.
That is an interesting point that you brought up, the fact, I think, of all of us, because I know this is what I watched probably the first time for about 20 years last night, probably not, if not longer. But when you don't remember a character's name, I always consider that a bit of a cinematic failure. It's like, who would leave Star Wars and not remember Han Solo and Obi-Wan and Luke? In this movie, you're like, oh, wait, who is that character?
I guess that's, yeah. You know what? That's, as much as I'm praising this movie, I guess I've given more than 2 compliments, so I can give it a shot in the keister. I can't remember anyone's name, so maybe it could have used some more memorable names, or at least use of names like Han. I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm here to rescue you. Who's going to forget that name?
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah,
I'm Han Solo. I'm captain of the Millennium Falcon.
It's the Kraken.
The only one I actually remember is
Liam Neeson's in the background going, "Release it." Oh, not yet. Okay, I'll wait.
Yeah, hold. But Lisette Anthony, who's the rather pretty gal that plays the princess with the very 80s haircut. The only reason I remember her name is because her character's name is Alyssa, which is very similar to her actual name.
Oh, this is freaky. What really freaks me out about this is usually when you see quicksand, it's wet looking quicksand, like muddy. This is just like dry, unnatural, magical looking quicksand.
This forcibly reminds me of the Swamp of Despair in Neverending Story.
Oh no,
that's like easily for me one of the saddest parts in any like 80s film where the horse goes in.
Just the slow demise of that poor horse, and we sort of get that exact same thing here.
Yeah,
in a moment. Great moment for the team to really literally band together. They're banding together to try to help each other. And it's these moments that near the end, when they start getting picked off, it's what makes it really sad that these guys aren't just stuck on a journey together. They care and they're willing to sacrifice, their own lives, put themselves in danger to save each other. And this guy goes out like a champ. He doesn't go out like a chump, like, oh, I got caught and I'm stupid and I sunk, but he's going to actually try to do something with his final moments of life, and he's going to try to help them. If I'm remembering this right, does he actually toss this their way so they can? Yeah. Yep. So a little thing, but that's his legacy right there.
And that's ground up cork that you're seeing.
Oh, that's what it is. It's so freaky looking. I've never seen anything quite like it. Yeah, good on them. Good on, the character in the world of the movie for having the foresight to do that, and good on the makers of the movie to write it that way, that he didn't just sink like an idiot, but they had something to cling to, like that was a hero right there in his own small way.
And it's well done too, because you can't blame Colwyn, Ken Marshall, for not saving him. It's like he gave it his best. It's like nobody would have been like, oh, he didn't draw this. It's like he
had him. He got there and he had him, and it's not that he wasn't strong enough. It's just that the pit is stronger.
Okay, and this part when I was a kid creeped me the heck out.
Yes, I remember fervently, this is my least favorite part.
This is like one of two scenes I remember that I was like hiding my eyes when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So if this was a Remco toy line,
the black eyes.
This is the character you wouldn't have been able to find, obviously, because you'd need two of them. So he'd be the short packed one naturally, along with the
that.
Oh yes. Oh, that's terrible. Oh, what a horrible visual.
Yeah, that wizard character would have been the Target exclusive. But I want two, because there's a good one and an evil one. Well, tough. You can't get any of them.
We made 10.
You can get the Kmart exclusive in purple, not green, purple. Why purple? Maybe it's better we didn't get Krull toys. Oh, you stinker.
Oh.
There's one thing I hate. It's an inside man.
Right? And he's making his way up to his neck.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, I didn't notice that the first time. This guy coming along and going, hey, I gotcha. Does he suspect something, or is that just luck?
No, it's just luck.
Okay. Darn it.
Oh, the eyes.
Foiled again. Freaky. Yeah, it's too bad. And we hardly knew him. Cool character. The good, true version of the wizard, at least.
Yeah, he's actually got a surprisingly small amount of screen time as himself, as the real deal.
And I thought, well, we'll be seeing him till near the end, probably. You don't get rid of the wizard, do you? And 10 minutes later, he's gone.
Apparently, he's not nearly as important as you think he is.
Mm-hmm. And using cork is a great idea because it'll float.
Yep. Yeah.
Ruh-oh, Raggy.
Wait a minute. Dental plan. Lisa needs braces.
Yeah.
No, he's pretty sharp. I'm sure he figured it out right away.
I was just sitting there thinking, that's odd. That corpse looks exactly like our wizard does. Here's a little tiny bit of trivia that the guy that plays the younger kind of marauder kid, the not the youngest one, but the next youngest was he was on EastEnders for a long time. It's a really popular sort of seminal classic British like drama / soap opera TV.
EastEnders. Okay, Colwyn is our hero.
Colwyn, yes.
Colwyn.
The unforgettable Colwyn.
I know. Yeah, I'm looking at all these names here. There's no. Gotcha. And you really,
you're right, you dirty old bugger.
you
And
really
this again. Oh, it's terrible. Oh, it's such a hard thing to watch.
Oh. Anybody have any ointment?
Exfoliating cream.
Shot in slow motion. Just love the slow motion effect there to drag that out a little bit more. Yeah, I'm looking at the cast list on IMDb right now, and now I know why I don't know any of these names. Yinyer, Torquil, Ergo, Keegan, Sear, Titch, Turoid, Elgin. Like, yeah,
they just roll off the tongue.
It's going to take me a while to commit those to memory. But Colwyn, Ralph would have been more memorable.
Ralph, Bill, George,
Hank.
Oh, poor kid. But you know, one thing is, and I think we talked a little bit about it earlier. One thing that's really nice about this film is that all of the leads, there's nobody you really hate. It's like everybody's pretty much likable. You know, it does that. It does that very, very well. It's like even the magician kid here, he stole the kid's cinnamon sticks and all that sort of stuff. But he's still, you see him there and he's comforting the kid, and he kind of. There's a scene here in a little while that really shows you that he's good natured and good at heart.
Yeah, it's so important to have your comic relief actually be a likable character.
Yes.
You don't want to be annoying. Like Hudson in Aliens, he's hilarious. And with the wrong actor, he would have been just a pain, and it would have been a celebration when he gets killed. So this guy, he's not the best dude, but he's not a piece of garbage either. Like he's charming. He's charismatic. Side quest, baby, says Mark. Quest number 2. It is time for the side quest. Wow. I wonder if Peter Jackson watched this movie and went, oh, yeah.
Twin sons.
Oh, yeah. But it reminds me of Lord of the Rings, where Gollum is taking them through that shortcut, the marsh. So I wonder if Peter Jackson used this as a kind of a storyboard almost for how that marsh scene would look.
I think in every fantasy film, there's got to be a march of despair or something. It's like just kind of a prerequisite.
Mm-hmm.
I got to get organized.
So this is a great one because the kid had been talking about wanting a puppy and everything, and
yeah, that's what makes him likable. Like, he's not totally selfish, even though everything he's done has been pretty selfish up to this point. This is a pretty selfless thing. Aw.
It's a pretty darn cute puppy too,
right?
Beagle pup.
There's so many little moments that I'm picking up on my second viewing here. Cyclops picking up the boy's bow. I think it was a bow so that the boy can pick up the puppy. It's just a bunch of guys doing little gestures for each other.
Yeah. And I love the kind of knowing smile where he's just, he's like, yeah, that's good.
Now, if that was Barry Bostwick, that would have gotten a thumb kiss right there.
Absolutely. And I love it. It's from the set back into this great exterior, right back into the set again. This was when I was watching it, the one set that I raised an eyebrow over because it's got such a hard division between the actual set pieces and the backdrop. You can see it like right there in the back where everything ends and then the backdrop sort of picks up.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
From an art direction standpoint, that wouldn't have made muster for me. I would say like we gotta get some stuff over here. We got some fauna and flora and
Yeah, we need
cover the line.
Maybe Billy D should have been introduced in this scene. Hey, Billy D standing in front of a painting.
There you go.
Makes them seem a little more realistic. Side quest 2, Electric Boogaloo. What do you think? Krull 2, Electric Boogaloo. I would love a movie to actually use that as a subtitle. Is Breakin' the only one to actually use that?
Oh yeah.
You would think there'd be more movies that would just have the gall to call themselves
Boogaloo.
Yeah, 2, Electric Boogaloo. Spaceballs 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Hey, Tron 2, Electric Boogaloo. That would pretty work.
That actually would have been more fitting than Breaking 2. Oh, and they got a real cute pup too.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have worked if it was a Doberman or Pitbull. Oh, I don't think I've seen him blink before. Maybe he did, and I blinked and I missed it.
I think this is that bit where you get a feeling for the fact that this Liam Neeson's character, whoever he's named, is a girl in every port kind of guy. He's talking about all his different wives.
Right. Yeah.
Keegan? I think it's Keegan.
Yeah.
Keegan. I mean, even if you get the name, you don't know how to pronounce it.
No, yeah.
Oh. Is PETA going to be after Liam Neeson for what he did 40 years ago in a movie? He slapped a horse.
Horse is like, son of a.
Yeah, I don't think it was ready for it. I mean, that's Liam Neeson. That horse might never walk again.
Yeah, that horse. So help me God if you wanted a second take.
Then suddenly there are these women that came out of nowhere.
Like, huh?
Yeah, where'd they come from?
Just hanging out waiting for him.
Right.
Women of the forest.
So coming up here, involving this this lady in the green shawl. This is another one of my parts that just really creeped me out when I was a kid.
Maybe that's what sunk this movie ultimately, that if they had just tried to be not a kiddie movie, but a little more kid friendly, there's maybe too many scary parts and creepy parts. And then now you've got a little bit of hanky panky going on here. So as an adult movie, it maybe wouldn't have sold as many tickets as a kid's movie.
I think in a way, though, that was a staple of these kind of movies in the 80s, because they always had bits that if you go back and look at them, you could almost call wildly inappropriate for children. Like even what was it, the one that set the standard for the PG-13 rating was Temple of Doom. And you have this part that was just terrifying for kids, and here it was rated like, was it PG or might have even been
die. He got his heart torn up, but he didn't die.
Yeah, nothing traumatic about that whatsoever.
Walk it off. If they had locked him up and burned him alive, he would have walked it off.
Yeah. But you do seem to get these creepy parts in some of these movies. It's funny, every scene she's in the entire sort of act 2 of the movie is just running around this fortress.
She's like on an LSD trip or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Total
very
Snake Mountain vibe here.
Yeah, very Snake Mountain.
I could see those execs after this movie bombed. Okay, we're gonna repurpose this movie here. We're gonna rename it this He-Man thing. Gonna redub it. Okay, what's the main guy's name? Doesn't matter. He's Prince Adam now.
Yeah. We can dress him up in purple.
Adam does wear tights.
See, this is where he really starts looking like Kraken from Clash of the Titans.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Well, so Legend was 1984, I think, right? I think Legend was 84. But what I'm amazed at is how similar the plots were, and really even the villain looks pretty similar to Tim Curry's. What do they call him? I forget what I call him, but I think he's just called the Beast in this film. The villain.
Looking Legend up right now. Legend was 85. Tim Curry 85. Was Darkness.
Darkness, that's right. I can't get over her perm. It's just magnificent. So is his.
The curliest hair in the universe. Wow. The contact effect. She looks familiar. Is that Frances McDormand?
I don't know.
Ugh.
Oh, and those creepy black eyes.
I just saw Fargo a few weeks ago. Is that Marge in charge?
Hey, Margie.
No.
I love her line in that. You see something over there, Margie? No, I just think I'm going to barf.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Oh, geez.
That is freaky.
Very Geiger-esque, really.
Yeah, it is. And Guyver-esque.
Speaking of Mark Hamill.
Just reminds me of the cover of the Guyver. I don't know. How about Mark Hamill as the star of this movie?
That would work. That guy can do anything, though. He's got the best voice.
Yeah. I guess he was busy at the time. This is an 83 movie, so
yeah.
I guess Mark was busy filming that Return of the Jedi thing.
Oh, yeah.
I think I'll stick with the horse that brought me to the race.
No, I love this part. This part up here has some great effects, I think. Especially for whatever this was, 82, I think, 83.
Mm-hmm. And they said the stunt he's getting ready to do, he used no wires.
Wow.
Because they could not get it to, look good. So he was like, okay, I'll just do it.
Yeah, this scene, it doesn't look good for 83. It looks good for 2021. Like they can't do this today. They just don't have the time, resources, talent, and patience to do it like this today. Mm. Although, it looks great in Lord of the Rings, but that also was, 20 years ago. Mm.
Yeah, I don't know how much of this, if any, was I'm sure there's some backdrop in here and everything. I don't know how much was matte painting, but it's pretty stunning. Like for practical set, it looks really good.
And the very atmospheric score and instrumental sound effects. Very Aliens feeling.
Spiders. Why'd there have to be spiders?
Now, for stop motion animation, that crystal spider thing looks awesome.
Mm-hmm. I wonder if, wow. Mm. Yeah, very fluid. That must have taken forever to do. There's the money right there.
There it is, yeah.
I think it was done by the same fellow that did Clash of the Titans.
Is it Ray Harryhausen?
Harryhausen.
Now this, I really like how they're using this guy in his last hurrah, his last mission. Not so much when they run out into a battle and they kill 10 guys or 50 guys by themselves before they're taken down. This is how you do a guy who's lost his step. Like he's trying to navigate as well as he can, but he doesn't have to be doing crazy Tom Cruise Mission Impossible style stunts on the web. He's just walking a tightrope and trying to get in there before he gets eaten. It's a nice, quiet, simple scene, which is, I think, how you're supposed to use an older character who's on his way out. And that could be a whole movie, too. His whole backstory with this Spider Queen. It's very compelling.
Their interaction, even for just a few scenes, really, is really good. And I like it. Kind of reverberates this kind of like love conquers all theme in this movie.
Yeah,
he's talking about how much he loved her and this and that, and it's her love for him which makes her help him, and
that's such a great point.
Yeah, it's really a neat exchange.
If you're going to have the whole movie be driven forward by Colwyn, I'm trying here, folks.
Colbert, what was his name?
Colwyn. Then it's cool to show that it's not just his love that's important; it's all love.
Yeah.
Colbert. The Colwyn rapport. Very Aliens style music going on here. I can see this music is by James Cameron, I believe, or James Horner, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. The legend The legend goes James Horner had no time to score Aliens. He had like 2 weeks to do it. He was on a massive crunch, and I can see him just going back to something like this score and going, how can I repurpose this into an Alien score?
Just cutting and pasting a few bars here and there.
Yeah.
Steve Archer was the stop motion animator. And did work on Clash.
Okay. Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure Harryhausen saw this and went, wow, that's impressive.
Well, I think that kind of work, the work that was in this movie and to some extent Clash of the Titans, I would say is the peak of that kind of in film stop motion. I think it wasn't until Phil Tippett started doing the go motion technique, where it was computer controlled puppets animating. I think we're looking at the absolute pinnacle of that kind of stop motion.
Yeah, I would say the effects in this are better than Return of the Jedi. Definitely stand up better. I'm just so impressed. I mean, I've been gushing the whole movie, but this movie is just total pro from top to bottom. And in my second viewing here now, it's washing away some of the things that I wasn't nitpicking. It didn't really grab me and make me go, what an awesome story. But there's so much good here that I don't really mind the lack of overall great story. But this little story here is fantastic. Great dialogue here.
Even like her makeup to make her look really old is really just fantastic. And this is another Dune actress. She played Lady Jessica in Dune.
So where's Patrick Stewart, since they did all the crossover?
Right, they needed him in there as I don't know, they could have called him Colby or something.
Yeah, he could have totally been a scoundrel. Maybe Liam Neeson beat Patrick Stewart out for the role of Keegan.
He was busy filming Excalibur, I think, Mr.
Is he doing Shakespeare in my backyard? Wow.
He's
what an effect.
Yeah.
And it's, I guess, not really an effect. It's like, I'm sure it's just two actresses mimicking each other. Or would that be maybe a little blue screening there?
Yeah.
Oh, and the actor, they're letting the actors act. No shaky cams, zooms, panning, just put the camera, and guess what? An actor is an effect. A good one is anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
that's a great scene in this where he's like saying like, this is, see yourself as how I see you,
Yep.
I get chills from scenes like this. This is just awesome. So much, love, but sorrow, regret, unfinished business. Ka-ching! I think Krull in general just has a lot of unfinished business. This franchise can't stay dead.
I think it's one of those movies that's you're starting to see sort of some of that appreciation for. I think it happens faster with some movies, like Blade Runner was one. I remember it just got panned when it came out, and everybody's talking about how bored it was. And it wasn't for a good 10 years until people started to really appreciate how awesome it really was. And I think this movie's kind of like that. I think it's like gaining some kind of, like, I think it always had probably a cult following, but I think people are starting to discover it now. You hear kind of more and more about it here and there.
Mm-hmm. I'm so glad that I'm able to put this out, and maybe a couple of dozen people here or there will find out about it and go, "What's Krull?" and watch it and tell their friends and boost the signal.
I remember a long time ago. This is kind of a sideways story, but when Baz Luhrmann did Romeo and Juliet, I remember there were people saying like, "Oh, why are you doing Romeo and Juliet? And why are you keeping the original dialogue? And if you redo it, just do it a modern story, yada yada." And I remember at some interview he said if I've gotten just one teenager to pick up a copy of Romeo and Juliet and read it, I've done my job. And I think that's the truth to that. I think some of these older things where you kind of get you review an older movie or whatever, and it's like if somebody new that never knew it existed ends up watching it and everything, I think that's some good motivation right there.
Mm-hmm. Maybe the lack of toys and merchandise is another reason why this just didn't do well, and has remained dormant too. Because if it had anything, I mean, there's Tron didn't make much money. It bombed, but it had those few toys and that big hit video game.
Yeah,
that just kind of burrow their way into your heart.
Just wasn't quite licensed like you would have expected it to be. I mean, even Dune. I keep bringing up Dune. Very similar kind of movie, just epic in scale and really well done, and just a bomb. But even Dune had toys.
I'm doing a quick search here for Krull toys, and I think I'm seeing some customs.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think these are real.
I've got the sand.
Yeah. I don't think these are real Krull toys I'm looking at. I think they're customs. But it doesn't seem to be really any Krull merch out there. You could fashion your own out of Leonard's The Core figures.
Yeah, it looks like there might be some. I think you're right. They look like some custom 3 3/4.
We'll probably see some reaction figures soon.
Yeah,
that would be cool.
Yeah, those sort of count.
Unfinished business, perhaps. I was okay in this movie, though. I'll tell you, I remember when I first saw this, thinking about this, because the whole thing is that he'll only live as long as he's got the sand. Yeah. And I remember the whole time I was thinking, just put it in your pocket.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, why didn't he?
Yeah.
Or in his sock?
Yeah. Take his sock off and tie it closed.
Huh. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah, it's a horrible sound.
So she made a sacrifice, too. It wasn't just his sacrifice. Mm-hmm. It was hers as well.
Look at that. God, that's
that shot. Oh, my gosh.
Whew.
That's one of those where the director's like, let's set it up now. Get it ready. The lighting.
Oh, Balderov. That's what you do with a Balderov character. He's got to check out before the final battle so that the hero can ascend.
It's really well structured too, because given that the whole scene prior to this is all about getting you familiar with who he is and building this relationship and understanding he's got this interesting past and all this, all these little interesting facets about him. And then the next scene, he's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
It was fun. Oh my. Well, I'm sad to see him go, but it's about time the team started to get whittled down a bit, because it is bloated.
Yeah.
This is like a WWE Royal Rumble, and you got 15 guys in the ring and more guys coming. Like, it's time to throw a couple over the top.
You just know that the production offices, the executive producer was in there going, "We have how many people on the call sheet tomorrow?"
Here's what you're gonna do. You're gonna send the old guy into the spider web.
If you don't lose 5 people today.
I love the fuzzy feet of these guys.
These Clydesdales. They have, and this is going into adult beverage realm, but if you're ever in the St. Louis area, and obviously it's right now, it'd be a hard time to do this anyway, I would encourage anybody to go to the Anheuser-Busch tour. The tour of the facilities there. It's just magnificent. And if you didn't like Budweiser products before this, after you go, you'll like it. But they have the Clydesdale, these big giant horses there, the stables, because that's kind of like the brand, the horses and the animals of Anheuser-Busch. But these horses, if you've never seen them in person, are gigantic. I don't know, I'm not fully into equestrian sort of stuff, but there's a way you measure horses by saying they're so many hands tall, but it's like just the backs of these horses were like even with the top of my head, and I'm 6'3", just enormous horses.
So better fitting than ponies.
Yeah.
Donkeys. Yeah, they're powerful looking horses. Beautiful. And I'm just wondering, how'd you get this shot? Like, how'd you get them to all, I guess, herding them?
Yeah. This is such a cool name too, fire mares,
Oh, yeah, I forgot. They run on fire. Yeah, that's a total Tolkien style of thing.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Oh,
Denied.
Yeah. Notice the horses are listening to Liam.
Right.
Don't make me smack you again. I will find you.
I will find you.
I will smack you. He's not taking no for an answer. That's just a hug.
Got a certain what was this? Got a certain set of skills. Skills that make me a nightmare to a horse.
Skills.
There we go. Bolts right up there.
I will find your stable.
And he's really on there. I mean, I don't know if he was doing the actual rock climbing, but he's really on that horse. And these are powerful horses. Like, they will launch you.
Probably had different insurance and Italy or where they film this bit. They're like,
Wow.
yeah, just hop on there.
Look at that.
They are gigantic.
Yeah,
The musculature on them, my lord.
yeah.
Yeah, you got the executive order. The big one-eyed guy's gonna bite it tomorrow. Carl was wondering if that was a failed stunt that they just kept, where the dude tried to jump on the horse and just ate it.
Yeah, yeah. It's good. Just save it for B-roll.
They did that in Mad Max a lot.
Yeah.
What? He almost died. Great, keep it.
Well, one of the most famous sort of failed stunts that ended up in the movie was in Ben-Hur, in the original Ben-Hur with Charlton Heston, the chariot scene where the guy falls off the chariot and goes under the wheels and trampled by the horses. That actually really happened, and the guy died, and actually his family said that as sort of respect to the stuntman to keep it in the film, and so it is.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah,
I guess he went out doing what he loved, so. I mean, there's two ways to take it, right? You must destroy the footage, or like don't let it be for nothing.
Yeah.
And every family is free to choose which one they think is the most appropriate.
Yeah. So he's just the Cyclops is just sort of left standing there.
Like, have fun storming the castle.
Yeah.
we got some blue screening going on here, and it's. Yeah. This is the one shot that's
Yeah.
What if they were just running the horses on a treadmill or something in front of green screen?
Probably. That's what it seems. But that's the shot you need to insert with the kind of cheesy blue screen shots.
Yeah.
Another beautiful long shot, and the landscape is on fire. Amazing.
Yeah, this is cool.
Is it very hot in here, or is it just me?
Yeah. Of course, these would be probably the easiest animals on the planet to track. I wonder where they went. Follow the scorched earth.
Carl says it's funny how Liam got paired with the kid. Preview of the Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
You remember that movie with Liam and the kid? He's good with kids. And then the other people on Phantom Menace are saying, "What kid, George? What kid are you talking about?" Anakin. Oh no! What are you planning?
Yeah.
Anakin? You mean like the 30-year-old Anakin? Yeah, about that.
People responding, just my God. This is a great piece of music in this film, really soaring and
kind of never-ending story feel.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's cool.
Yeah.
With the dusk and the lighting going down, and okay, they've turned the flames off. I guess they're here.
They're at the Iron Desert.
If you could just stick like a pheasant on a stick behind you and roast it while you're traveling.
They got weenies.
Got any more of those marshmallows? Yeah, this would be appropriate for another Barry Bostwick thumb kiss right here.
Yeah. Yeah, that really does look like it could almost be Castle Grayskull.
Mm-hmm. That is a huge horse. Liam Neeson is like 6'6" or 7.
Yeah.
He's a big guy, and he had quite a drop off of his horse.
I love how they're just all in. It's like forget prepping and getting everything. They're just right up the wall. Let's do
Right up
this.
the wall, and they forgot that the bad guys have lasers.
This guy remembered. You can turn into a bird or something.
There we go. Those are some really creepy looking things, though. I mean, the design on those is awesome. I think it still stands up.
I read where they made, I think, 20 of them, and 10 of them were wrecked within just a few weeks of shooting.
Well, they got the guys that are darker colored and black colored, and then they got the white ones, and
Yeah, they got the snow troopers.
yeah.
Oh,
Looking for the sketch. There we go.
here comes the cavalry. Oh no!
There goes
Hagrid.
Yes.
I mean, he's really not done much.
No.
We're invested because he's Hagrid. In terms of in the scope of the movie, he's done nothing.
And he's dead just as easy.
So what does this part entail? Well, Robbie, it entails you rocking a mustache.
What do I do though? We just explain that. All right, I'll get to growing. That's the thing a lot of actors want, though, when they read a script. Ooh, I get to die. Get to do a death scene. At least they did in the old days. Maybe not so much anymore because franchise. I don't want to get that sequel money.
Yeah. Unless you're in a genre where you can come back just as easy.
Yeah, I guess they didn't really think this through.
Yeah.
No pre-planning. I love that just the Cyclops just keeps going. He's like, yeah, that's cool.
One thing I always wondered in Masters of the Universe is how do you pit medieval weapons against lasers? And I guess this is how. I mean, realistically, in a live-action movie, this is exactly what would happen. Lasers versus swords.
The old Filmation cartoon, if I'm not mistaken, weren't there times where a He-Man reflected blasts Luke Skywalker style? Yeah,
he did. But I think they did it effectively there. You would need an equalizer. You'd need a giant who would basically be a shield so that you could get close. Yeah, He-Man was always deflecting with the power sword.
I love it. They just tell the Cyclops,
hold the door.
Be her decoy.
Kind of the same idea with Jedi too. Jedi don't have lasers, but they can reflect anything back at you.
Oh, this is sad.
Oh yeah. Once again, another horrible, terrible memory. Like for a kid watching this movie.
Yeah.
There's some really awful deaths for some great characters in this movie.
Yeah.
It's a smashing scene.
I don't know. This scene just crushes me.
You're in a tight squeeze. We'll get out of it. Here comes one of the worst stunt jumps.
This is grisly though. Oh god.
This kind of squeezes the fun out of the movie, don't you think?
Here we go.
The Krull.
He doesn't even get that far.
Shannon looks at that and goes, amateur.
I love the Galaxy Quest and they made fun of that. It's like, does the rolling help? Yeah, in fact, it does. Where's your gun?
Oh, that was good.
Now that's a neat idea that the castle keeps disappearing. You never know where it'll be, and it's like a one-time thing that costs a lot to know where it'll be that one time.
Yeah,
that little window. It's not just a simple we're going to march to the castle. Another executive order there. We got to whittle it down here. We're getting close to finishing this movie.
We got our "You shall not pass" moment here.
They build just like the Empire. Why don't they put handrails?
Yeah.
That could have been a Temple of Doom bridge moment. Latsusansa. Oh no!
No.
I will find you, and you will kill me.
Here goes my sequel deal.
Well, you never know. Maybe it could come back as a hologram or something. That's what he's been saying about being in Obi-Wan or any other Star Wars movie. Maybe it could come back as a hologram. He has no idea what he was in.
Train the boy.
Yeah, train him. What boy? You mean the 30-year-old man? What have you heard?
Go the Qui-Gon. No.
There's Pants McGee leading the way.
Now that's a name I'd remember.
Yeah, right?
Pants McGee.
This is another scene that I read from the production notes that was really very deadly for the actors because that set piece moved on hydraulics. And like the first take, it almost crushed him where he's trying to escape.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Oh, that is horrible. That's insane.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm just thinking it was styrofoam.
So when he gets up clutching that guy, that wasn't acting? Is that what you're saying?
Holy smokes. Does anyone know if the Cyclops actor actually survived that scene? Like,
he must have been feeling a lot of pressure filming it. Sorry, we can keep those puns going.
I don't know. I just felt like they pushed him out of the movie there.
He must have been crushed.
It's not nice when you get squeezed out of a payday. Hang on a second. I'm the star.
Finally get to use this thing.
Start acting like it. Like I've been calling him the star simply because that's what he's supposed to be. But I guess that's another, thing that could have been tweaked a bit. He's not really the star of this movie until now. It's really been an ensemble thing.
Cue MacGuffin.
Gonna get to use this thing sooner or later.
Anybody got 5 cans of cat food they need opened? Now, I thought a glaive was a real thing, like an actual real medieval weapon. But is it created, like the name is specific to this movie?
I think it is I think it is an actual type of weapon. I think it's based on something. I'm sure it's not quite like this, but
a Chinese throwing star.
It's like just like what is it? Xena had the what's that the round thing she had, the Kothrars, whatever it was called. That's actually based on a real Indian weapon as well. It's like a throwing, throwable blade that's a disc shaped.
A glaive is a European pole arm consisting of blades on both ends of the pole.
There you go.
Or, as we know, the Ningata in Japan.
Ah.
Huh. I guess they just liked the way it sounded.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this scene.
Oh.
Hey, it's been a while since someone died horribly.
Such a piercing scene.
Oh. I wish
don't
they'd
know.
just get to the point.
They had to be sharp the day this was filmed.
I heard one of the actors was a prick about this scene. I guess they really wanted to just spike the drama. Get out of the way, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, he crawls so slow.
So very slow just to get a
my
blade.
Lord, yeah, this movie is filled with awful deaths. Is he guiding it? He's guiding it to the steel plate he has underneath. Oh no!
Slow, piercing death.
This
Good
was
God.
another traumatic scene as a kid.
Yeah, it wasn't quite as much fun as the one they showed in, was it Temple of Doom, right?
Right.
We are going to die.
Yeah, I think Hairdo there is finally getting something to do.
That's right. That's another thing. She's barely been in the movie. Not quite how you're supposed to use a damsel in distress.
Mm-hmm. Well, she has very few lines, really. Just the beginning and kind of the end here, and that's about it.
Yeah, I'm left wondering, why is she so special? Like, why does he want to rescue her other than he loves her?
Yeah.
It's not necessarily Aragorn and Arwen.
Well, wasn't the story that she was marrying him because they were kind of consolidating their lands, but it turned out they actually really loved each other too.
Yeah,
kind of thing. Yeah. Finally seeing this glaive in action.
It just kind of does all the work itself.
Yeah.
Well, it's also the tale is that when those two kingdoms combined, the son of their union will rule the galaxy or something like that.
Well, there's the sequel right there. I should pick this up now.
Yep.
Yes, just as long as Tight Pants McGee there is a supporting actor and not the star, right?
Pretty
he
sure
knows how to hold it. That's a tough thing to hold, and he seems to he's got the right grip on it. I can tell, like, every shot that he throws it is actually a reverse shot of him.
Ooh,
that's gonna leave a mark.
Well, good old Ken there is good at throwing the glaive, and maybe he'd be up for a sequel.
Yeah, I can stick my hand out. Bring in Mark Hamill as my brother. He knows how to do that too.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill would get all serious. There's a certain science to how you stick your hand out and reach forward.
You gotta want it.
Yeah. You have to imagine that something real is happening.
Yeah.
And I hate Trump. I'm surprised that didn't make it into one of the new Star Wars movies. Maybe it did, and they cut it out.
Yeah. It was probably an Aerobash somewhere written in the back of one of the screens.
Well, that's kind of cool that little thing took down that big beast. It's very, like, Transformers Matrix thing. Uh-oh.
Oh, no. Use the Force, Colwyn.
You use the pants. Maybe this time.
That's Hamill's tutelage. You gotta want it. Gotta want
it. Coachitron says Colwyn forgot to charge it. Oh no. My little sharp friend.
Dead glaive battery.
It's nice that at least two of those scoundrels got to stick around.
Stick around.
We're getting dangerously close to Schwarzenegger here levels of puns.
That is a magnificent perm. I really like that you never get a good look at that big beast thing.
Yeah.
Oh, you bugger.
Oh, there it is. That is truly a horrific makeup job on that thing, though.
Yeah.
Mhm. Oh, no.
Oh.
Kind of ironic that that dude has a spiked collar and he's about to get done in by a spike.
Human shish kebabs.
Wow. Impressive sets just keep on coming.
Yeah.
Now that they freed up all that money from all the actors they got rid of, they can build some nice sets again.
He's back.
I think this is the love conquers all moment.
Yes. Take the fire.
This is the flame of our love.
Oh, zoom shot.
yeah.
hate
Not that. Anything but that.
Cool.
We didn't start the fire.
Eat your heart out, Mark Hamill.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill's elbowing George Lucas somewhere. Hey, how come I never got to do that? I just got to
Force
stick my
lightning,
hand out.
force fire.
Yeah, that would have been a cool counter to Force Lightning, actually. Or how about Force Don't Run Away from Your Problems? That's a good force power.
Love it.
It's
This is
one
going to
thing.
come. This
Sorry?
is coming amazing benefit for me at a barbecue.
You still got some of those weenies and marshmallows from the trip?
I prefer my beast medium rare.
Now, would it have made a difference if they got the rights to Disco Inferno to play over top of this thing? I mean, the pants are right for that song.
Yeah. So is the hair, really. It looks like a
Yeah.
BG.
That's true. There's your star of the movie. Is it Barry Gibb or Andy Gibb?
The Gibb brothers, who at one time in their life lived in the Isle of Man.
Oh, really?
That's true. Yeah, the Bee Gees. There's actually a building their childhood home is marked. It's now a post office.
Oh, cool. I can just imagine them strutting all around the island to the tune of Staying Alive. Is that a real tiger?
God, it looks like
Sure
it.
looked like it.
Like a doped up tiger.
Yeah.
In the stage that squishes you. Like,
Right? Yeah.
where's that kid? We got to get this kid in here before this tiger wakes up. Okay, watch your step, kid. This set's dangerous, apparently.
Yeah. This stage is an OSHA.
Now, this is the part where this guy easily could have been the turncoat, and he could have been the, Alfred Molina character in Raiders of the Lost Ark. Just betrayed everyone on his way out.
Throw me the glaive and I'll throw you the whip.
Throw me the glaive, he lodges it in his forehead. Oops.
Yeah, poor choice of words.
Hand me the glaive. Oh, my arm. That's nice. He got his little hero moment too. Wow, the wall looks like it's bleeding. Whew.
Got a lot of mileage out of those sparkle effects.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's satisfying. I hope they don't run into a Balrog. Oh no. You got to whittle that cast down a little more.
Tomb Raider sequence.
Why did they stop?
Right? Yeah.
The bridge is falling. We better hang out for a little bit.
That was close.
So, Ernie said call sheet only has 3 of us for tomorrow. Who is thou, Ernie? Oh, that's so cool. The pieces have lights on them. Or is it just sparkles falling? It's a shot in slow motion to give it more like a grander effect.
Scale, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Gojitron sees the similarity to Tolkien. Bad guy dies, kingdom crumbles, just like Mordor.
And he's still got the flame power.
Cool. Whoa.
Nice.
Another one of those beautiful slow motion long shots. That's a heck of a superpower there. He can make doors with fire hand. Force fire. Now, what kind of fans do they have blowing on these guys to get that much wind? Like a jet turbine or something.
Yeah.
Eye of
Big
Sauron.
America fans.
Wow.
Ooh. Oh, there you go.
Cool.
Instead of falling, it's all raising up into nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Beginning to end, just so much amazing imagery in this movie.
This part makes me think of Time Bandits, where everything is getting cleaned up at the end.
That's right.
Oh, I haven't seen that movie.
Oh, Time Bandits is great. Terry Gilliam at its finest.
I got to take a group of friends to go see that for my birthday at the theater. It was awesome.
So they're just going to sit and hang out and watch this like TV?
Whole thing finishes. I'd love it if somebody just said, well, that was weird.
That'd be the ultimate final line. Goji's asking how fast did they get down and away.
Yeah.
The Dark Castle cleans up in a snap.
Cool. And all is right.
There we go.
Well, that was weird.
So Princess Hairdo and Prince Pants are all ready to have a happy family and raise the ruler of the next world, right?
Mm. All your favorites survived except Liam Neeson and Robbie Coltrane. And Robbie Coltrane simply because he's Hagrid. It seems so long ago that wizard died. I love this part. We've bonded, my friend. Shared trauma. Krull 2, Electric Boogaloo. Bravo.
Excellent.
Up next, Ice Pirates.
Fantastic.
Which I've got a copy of, and we need to do one.
Nice.
Yes.
That'd be a terrific one. Or Battle for the Planet. Oh wait, Battle for the Planets. Battle Beyond the Stars. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great one. Remaking Magnificent Seven in space.
Well, that was even better the second time. So I want to give a big thanks to everyone who recommended this, because this is really a great forgotten hidden gem or hidden emerald. Love finding stuff like this that I'd never known or heard about. I mean, I saw Ice Pirates when I was a kid, and I remember nothing about it, so I'm looking forward to seeing it again. But it's really awesome to not even have like a vague memory. It's almost like alternate universe type of stuff. In an alternate universe, this movie Krull came out, and it was awesome. So,
well, it's so nice this kind of things. That's just, I don't know. One of the things that I think is really nice about the internet in general, and having all this information at your fingertips, and having great shows like yours, Michael, where you kind of reacquire appreciation or rediscover some of these things that are so cool. It's like, this is not a movie. I'm willing to bet there are a lot of people out here that if they've seen it before, it's been a long time ago. You just don't really hear about this movie. It's awesome that it's kind of get some new appreciation and discovers a new audience. That's what it's all about.
Gojitron says he's got an unfortunate follow-up on where the story goes. Their son shall rule the galaxy, and they shall name him Palpatine. Uh-oh.
Didn't see that coming.
Yeah. It could be a Palpatine prequel. I mean, that's the great thing about headcanon. If you want to have an amazing chat about headcanon, talk to Sean Fuster sometime. That guy can weave different canons into the most amazing, intricate, elaborate, makes perfect sense. Headcanon around.
Perhaps they rename the planet from Krull to Naboo.
Yasamisa.
Wow, that actually is that a Gungan? I think I see a Gungan. Yeah, that'll be in Krull Special Edition.
Yeah. Then young Palpatine quickly climbs his way through the Senate.
Oh man, fantastic. Well, I guess let's take a couple of minutes here to just recap our favorite parts, if we can narrow it down. Pete, why don't you kick it off?
I still got to go with the swamp scene, just because that was one of the scariest scenes that I recall as a kid. But just I don't know, something just blows me away about having that much area, even on a soundstage, like wet, swamped up, is just impressive.
For sure.
Eric, how about you?
I got to go with that fire mare scene. I think that's it's got the rousing score, and I think it's one of those iconic sort of parts in a film that you can kind of look back on. That's got a good idea and a kind of a memorable feel to it. It's exciting. That's the kind of thing you're gonna when you're a kid, you're gonna ride your bike down the street and pretend it's a fire mare.
I got to go with the spider web scene. Obi-Wan was always my favorite character in A New Hope. I just love the old soldier with going on one final mission, and I see so often a movie do it and not do it justice, not do a character who we don't really know anything about, do him any justice, and not make me want to wonder about his history anymore. But this movie does it right. It makes me appreciate the character even more. And not that I need to see a prequel about his story, but I'm just satisfied that he's a well fleshed out character, because we got to see what he was like in current day, but also hints of what went down before, and this really strong love. He was kind of the hero of the previous story. And I think, it's a term that a lot of fans these days really don't like anymore, the passing of the torch. But this is how you do a passing of the torch properly, I think. Oh, passing of the sand. Passing of the hourglass sand. All right, so that's Krull. That was a blast.
Fun one indeed.
And we've got a lot more to come. Delta Force is in the queue.
One of my personal favorite movies.
Yep. And we were saying during the Megaforce commentary that if Megaforce is the Sunbow G.I. Joe cartoon, then Delta Force is the Larry Hama Special Missions comic.
Yes.
So looking forward to some Chuck Norris and Lee Marvin. What a combination.
Right.
And a lot more fun stuff too. Animation, definitely need to get back to G.I. Joe Renegades.
Oh, yeah.
so good.
Every one of those episodes is almost like a Resolute. Just awesome episode. And then more 80s goodness too. Ice Pirates definitely in the queue.
We got to throw a couple more episodes of Rambo in there too.
Oh man, yeah, definitely. You can just put aside a half hour somewhere and force freedom. Rambo, your country needs you. But thanks, guys, so much for joining me for this one.
Thank you.
Great time.
And thanks everyone out there for watching. Thanks to the Patreon tribe for chatting along with us and listening along on the Patreon exclusive live stream of this. And thanks to everyone else listening along to this out there in YouTube land, podcast land. Hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, Nerdmas Day.
Nerdmas Day. Thank you.
Nerdmas Day, everyone.